Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Doctor Who. Last time on Doctor Who we had Heaven Sent, where the Doctor was, unbeknownst to him, trapped in his own confession dial, where he was running around a castle which could move, and there was this one creepy dude, and in order to stop him, he had to confess to some things. Mainly, he was actually confessing about the legend of the hybrid between Time Lords and Daleks. And then, eventually, he would go find a giant sheet of... I don't remember what he called it, but something that was, I think 20 times harder than diamonds. And he got a couple punches in on it, and then he died. Then he woke up, and then he repeated the process, went all the way back to the glass, punched it, and died. This continued for several billion years until eventually he finally broke through and made it out of his confession dial and ended up on Gallifrey and said that, the legend of the hybrid is not exactly right because there would never be anything that's half Dalek. The Daleks would never allow that. But there is someone who will conquer Gallifrey and stand in its ruins, and that is the Doctor. And that's where we left it. So shit's going down, basically. This is the finale of Doctor Who Series 9. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I don't even know. I don't know what can we say, I feel like we honestly need 2 more episodes. I thought Face the Raven would be the sort of beginning episode, and then we'd get an actual 2-parter, similar to something like Utopia into The Sound of Drums in season 3. But no, we're just doing it. We're going to conquer Gallifrey in a single episode. I don't know how that's going to work, but we should find out together by watching this episode of Doctor Who. Here we go. Meanwhile, in Nevada...
Hi.
Hi.
You're English.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you get out here?
Magic. Or maybe I went to an airport and caught a plane. You?
Yeah, but why are you in Nevada?
What's it called?
I think that it's called Clara.
Tell me about her.
Is this another, impossible girl? I mean, it makes sense. There will always be a Clara. You can never escape her. There's just another Clara in the middle of Nevada. Or Nevada. Nevada? I think they say Nevada. Back on Gallifrey, which also looks like Nevada. Oh shit. The farmhouse.
Are all the bells ringing?
Oh hey!
The whole cloister?
What's going on then?
Sweet. Is fucking Maester Lewin. She looks familiar too. Oh.
They'll kill you.
Oh, she recognizes him. It's interesting. It was once she saw his eyes. Drawing a line in the sand.
Welcome home, sir. As commander of the armed forces of Gallifrey, I bring you the greetings of the High Council.
Nope.
Who the hell does he think he is?
The man who won the Time War, sir.
Yeah. Oh, God, yes. Who does he think he is? He thinks he's the Doctor.
The Doctor does not blame Gallifrey for the horrors of the Time War.
I should hope not.
He just blames you.
Interesting. The Lord President. waiting for the Lord President.
Get off my planet.
Oh, shit.
First thing you'll notice about the Doctor of War is he's unarmed.
No.
For many, it's also the last.
Yeah, it's interesting. Even when he's unarmed, he's armed with himself. Yes!
I am Rassilon, the Redeemer!
Oh.
Rassilon the Resurrected! Gallifrey!
I should have guessed.
Mine!
Lord President, with respect, get off his planet.
Oh, shit. Oh! Damn. Nice try, Rassilon. I should have figured out that was actually Rassilon.
What color is it? I don't know. There's prophecies. They never tell you anything useful, do they?
This is no time to play the fool.
It's the end of the universe. It's the only time I've got.
Well.
And you want me to keep you all safe, can you? I'll need help, obviously.
So, wait.
Is at your command.
So the hybrid is real.
You lot. No.
Whoa. Huh. He's not quite saving Clara, it doesn't look like.
I can save you.
Or maybe he is. Okay. This is weird. The colors are freaking me out.
We have extracted you at the very end of your time stream to
Yeah.
request your help. Once we're finished here, you will be returned to your final moments. Your death is an established historical event.
Nah.
It cannot be all.
Look. You too, sir. I want a new blood. But the difference is, when you die, you stay dead.
So does he.
We're on Gallifrey. Death is Time Lord for Man Flu.
Med team to sector
Oh, yeah.
extraction chamber 7.
Right.
Regeneration in progress. Are you alright, sir?
Ma'am.
Sorry, ma'am.
There was only one way to keep Clara safe.
Yeah.
I had to wipe some of her memory.
Oh, shit.
Of what?
Of me.
This girl is so interested in this story.
Probably left over from the cloister wars.
Huh.
There's nothing we can do.
He was in the Cloister Wars, wasn't he? They've mentioned that before, I don't remember where. Jeez. That's crazy to see. Oh, no, I don't need that today. Oh, God. God. Piss off, you weeping angels, I don't need this.
Just need the code.
What? And the kid told you the secret?
I know. He didn't tell anyone anything. He went completely mad. Never right in the head again, so they say.
Okay, that's encouraging.
The last I heard, he stole the moon and the president's wife.
Huh.
Was she nice, the president's wife?
Ah, well, that was a lie. Put him up by the Shaboogans. It was
So-
the president's daughter. I didn't steal the moon, I lost.
I'd know you anywhere.
You went through it. Did he say it was a lie by the Shaboogans? Oh, I love that.
The hybrid. What is it? What's so important you would fight so long?
It doesn't matter what the hybrid is. It only matters that I convinced them that I knew. Otherwise, they would have kicked me out. I'd have nothing left to bargain with.
Ah.
What do you think?
He lied, of course.
One question. And you will answer. How long was the doctor trapped inside the confession dial?
We think 4.5 billion years.
He could have left any time he wanted. He just had to say what he knew. The dial would have released him.
Instead, he finagled his way out. For 4 billion years. Okay, is Clara the hybrid? Is this what we're getting at?
I said, they'll all be looking at me.
He's gone. Distraction.
You need to tell us
Right, he's stealing a TARDIS and running away.
Oh my god.
Bye.
Oh! Holy shit. Oh, this is classic.
I'm back. I think that you'll find you have one.
Yeah?
Use this TARDIS to find my proper one. I need to change my shirt.
Uh-oh. It didn't work.
Let me do it.
I am checking it properly.
This should work. This has got to.
Doctor.
What if one last heartbeat? What if the universe needs me to die?
The universe is over. It doesn't have to say anymore. We're standing on the last ember. The last fragment of everything that ever was. As of this moment, I'm answerable to no one.
Oh, shit.
Four knocks. It's always four knocks.
Nah. Don't be Missy.
But the universe will become a very small place when I'm angry with you.
Oh, shit.
Small enough for you yet? Hello, me.
Nah.
You don't seem surprised to see me.
Of course. Who's out there? Me. Damn it.
The company of immortals, so I've been told.
That's fucking crazy.
Clara died billions of years ago.
You killed her.
No.
You let it happen.
No, I didn't. Neither did you. She did.
Nah.
She died for who she was and for who she loved. She felt where she stood. It was sad. Why is it you spend so much time on Earth?
That's your best theory.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
the hybrid. I'd run away from Gallifrey because I was afraid of myself.
Huh.
It doesn't make any sense.
It makes perfect sense, and you know it.
You said you
Am I right?
would conquer Gallifrey.
Is it true?
Doesn't matter.
Was the 8th Doctor right?
What if the hybrid wasn't one person, but two?
Two.
A dangerous combination of a passionate and powerful Time Lord and a young woman so very similar to him. Companions
shit.
willing to push each.
I'm going to wipe a memory of every last detail of me. It'll be like our friendship never happened.
That may not be what she wants.
You're gonna Donna her?
Tomorrow's promised to no one, Doctor, but I insist upon my past. I am entitled to that. It's mine.
She's willing to die.
I'm not sure you managed to reverse the polarity. I'm not even sure that you can. It'll do something to one of us. Better than flipping a coin.
Wait, really?
Doctor.
Just take her back.
Good luck, Doctor.
I don't think I could ever forget you.
Wait.
Clara, I don't think you're ever gonna have to.
No.
Oh, shit. It did work on him.
What?
It's okay. I went too far. I broke all my own rules. I became the hybrid.
Aw.
He's right.
Oh my god. It's the closest you can get to a Doctor Death scene.
When something goes missing, you can always recreate it by the hole it left.
So that is
Her
Clara?
name was Clara. I know we traveled together. I know that there was an ice warrior on a submarine and a mummy on the Orient Express. I know
Aww.
we sat together.
You said memories become stories when we forget them. Maybe some of them become songs.
Aww.
That would be nice.
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it?
Oh. Wow. Didn't know a TARDIS could do that.
Seeing as I'm not actually aging, there's still a tiny little bit of wiggle room, isn't there? You know, stop off on the way.
Go have some fun before you die.
Where are we going?
Gallifrey. The long way around.
Huh. I guess the two of them can last a while. Aww. Be a doctor. Whoa! Holy shit! A new screwdriver. I gotta buy a new one. Oh, the paint doesn't come with. Alrighty, that is the definitive end, I believe, of Clara Oswald. She will go back at a point and face the Raven, but who's to say she can't have a little fun first with Ashilda? Okay, what a fascinating finale. Because this was so different from any finale, I feel like. I honestly feel like this was different from any finale we've had. This felt like... Well, you know what? This one was more personal. This one was a lot more personal, and there honestly wasn't a villain this time. Granted, we had Rassilon, but he really wasn't a main villain, you know? Which is interesting that, it took me a little bit to realize that that was Rassilon, you know? Because, like, oh, the Lord President, and I was like, I don't know, was this guy, like, I don't know, Rassilon? And it's like, oh shit, yeah, he is Rassilon. He's just older, he's not Timothy Dalton anymore. Which, you know, if you're not gonna have Timothy Dalton, what's his name? Donald Sumter? It's a pretty good fill-in, I gotta say. That was pretty good. Oh my gosh, that... A very, very interesting choice for this one. Because, have we had one where there just, like, isn't really a villain? Not really, because... Like, if we go back... Daleks... Master... Daleks... Series 5 technically didn't have a villain per se, but it did have, you know, the destruction of the universe and stuff. Like, there was still a huge problem that needed to be solved. Series 6 was kind of the same thing, just different. And then the Great Intelligence, and then the Master. This is the first one where it's like... I guess, you know, they've kind of done this before. Series 5 and Series 6, there wasn't necessarily a villain, but there was a huge problem that needed to be solved. This one was more... This one was a lot more personal, you know? This one was a lot more personal. And good twist on... the memory and the death as well. Like, that was really clever, actually. That it's like, okay, it's not just that, you know, yes, Clara will die. At a point, Clara will go back and she will face the Raven. She is technically gone. But, at the same time, they also introduced the memory thing, which you start to think, okay, is this going to be like a repeat of Donna? But no, it's not. It's not a repeat of Donna per se, because it wipes the Doctor's memory, which is interesting. That's an interesting twist on that, you know? Because from what it feels like, the Doctor still remembers, like, all the events that took place. Like, it's interesting. He remembers, you know, like he said, being on the submarine with an ice warrior, and, you know, and, like, he remembers all the events that have happened, and he remembers that there was a girl named Clara with him. But he cannot, for the life of him, remember who Clara is. That's really interesting. That is an interesting twist on it. So, it's not that his memory, because that's a lot of memory, you know, 900 years of that, 900 years of that was him on Trenzalore. But he remembers everything about Trenzalore, and he remembers there was a girl named Clara there. What he doesn't remember is who the hell Clara is, you know? So that's also just an interesting thing, you know? So it kind of makes you wonder if this had hit Clara, would she remember doing all these things but not remember who the Doctor is, you know? Because with Donna, I don't even know, because, like, it is sort of this, I guess it's sort of the same thing that, you know, she isn't like, oh, well, where have the past 2 years gone? She's like, well, no, she just does not remember anything. She didn't even remember the name, the Doctor, you know, whereas the Doctor seems to still remember that there was a girl named Clara, but that's about the best he can do, you know? So, man, oh man. It's just such an interesting finale, man. It's so different, you know? Which I guess that's the thing, you know, at the beginning of the video when I was like, oh, well, you know, I feel like we need 2 more episodes. That's because I thought we were going to have a villain. And I was like, okay, if we're dealing with a Gallifreyan villain, like, can we really do that in 1 episode? But we're not doing that. We really did not do that. You know, Rassilon was not the major, like, villain where, you know, the entire plot was about him. The plot ended up being about Clara. So... So that was interesting, man. That was definitely interesting. It's such a different finale. But I'm glad for that, you know? I'm glad for the different finale here. So... And that, I'm pretty sure this is our definitive end to Clara Oswald. Which is a bit of a shame because I do love Clara. I know some of you out there, let's say, are not her biggest fans. And that's fine. But I did like Clara, and so it is kind of sad to actually see her go. And I have to say, this time around, I did get sort of the emotion that I was lacking in Face the Raven, you know? Granted, it was, you know, like... Granted, it was weird because the emotion was also for the Doctor, because... that was honestly the closest thing to a death scene the Doctor can legitimately have other than a regeneration, you know? So yeah, that was really interesting. So we can go ahead and hop into the notes on this one. The first thing I wrote down is Nevada. So first off, that was interesting. You know, we get the previously showing like everything, and ended up, you know, on Gallifrey, and it's like, you know, the hybrid is me and stuff like that, and it just cuts to Nevada, and it's like, what? Why are we in Nevada? You know? Well, and also too when it's like, oh, here's this diner that the Doctor is at, and I was kind of thinking like, well, wait. The diner that we were at in Impossible Astronaut, that was not in Nevada. That was, I think that was at Roswell, wasn't it? I think it was somewhere around there, at least. I'm not, well, you know what? Now I'm not 100% sure. It definitely wasn't there, I have to say. So yeah. So that was interesting. And then just going in and being like, oh, there's Clara as a diner girl. Like, well, okay, what's happening here? And it's like, okay, but she's still British, and it's like, well, okay, well, that's kind of weird. And it's like, so is she... Because I was kind of thinking, like, okay, what if this is one of the other Claras, you know? Because shouldn't that still be a thing? Shouldn't that still be a thing, or is that just, you know, the Doctor's past of all these, you know, Claras that are kind of like in the background, making sure all his victories stay victories from the Great Intelligence, you know? Like, that's the thing, that's what I thought it was originally, but come to find out, that's not the thing. So yeah. So here comes the Doctor in Nevada, playing his electric guitar for this girl. And it's also interesting, too, because, you know, when it's like, oh, well, you just killed a man. And it's like, you are weirdly into this story, random diner girl that looks like Clara. Like, random British diner girl in the middle of Nevada. What? I still don't get why Nevada, of all the places for Clara to drop off the Doctor, why Nevada? Like, I don't know. That just seemed kind of weird. But yeah. And, you also think, like, oh, the Doctor is here with this girl that looks like Clara because he misses Clara, He misses Clara after she died, Turns out it's the opposite. The Doctor just happened to walk in here, found this girl, started telling a story about someone that he can't remember, and then she leaves in her TARDIS. Oh, it's crazy. It's such a good twist. Like, you think you have this figured out, and you don't. I love that. So, I wrote down the wraiths, the cloister wraiths. That was pretty cool. Which is interesting. It's like, they're wraiths, but they seem to just be dressed up in the normal Time Lord gear, and then just they have, like, little flashy faces. Like, well, that was weird. They didn't really play a part in anything, but alright, that happened. We had the Lord President, Rassilon. That was pretty cool, I have to say. Which, again, it's like, I was like, oh, the Lord President, and I was like, is this guy Rassilon? I was kind of thinking in my head, it's like, well, would it still be Rassilon? Like, because Rassilon, Rassilon, they revived for the Time War, and then, he failed to save Gallifrey at the end of time. So it's like, okay, well, and then, to them, it's like he fails, and then 5 seconds later on Gallifrey, every Doctor comes in and actually saves Gallifrey, So yeah, it's like, like, I was kind of thinking, like, okay, well, so would this still be Rassilon? But sure enough, he was Rassilon. He said so. He said he was Rassilon, which is pretty cool. And I have to say, for the few times that I've seen Rassilon, and it is few, like, I've seen Rassilon, I guess, twice before, technically. The first was in The Five Doctors, where he was just, the Wizard of Oz, basically. His head was projected there, and at that point he was dead, And then, well, I guess kind of, I don't know, that was weird. Like, he was supposed to be immortal, but he was dead, but I don't know. And then they turned him into a table. I don't know. And then the other time was in The End of Time, where, he's Timothy Dalton spitting up a storm and disintegrating people with his gauntlet. He still had the gauntlet, he just didn't use it, I like how he also says, like, how many regenerations did we grant you? I've got all night. Like, oh, shit, yeah. Like, he is about to just go through every regeneration the Doctor has and just completely kill him. But nope. Nope, you can't beat him. I also like, too, that that on Gallifrey, the Doctor doesn't say anything until Rassilon shows up, Like, and they have to keep, like, sending out different welcoming committees. Like, that was pretty funny. Like, you've got the military there, and he looks, draws the line, goes back to his soup. And then, soldiers come, and he goes back. Then the High Council comes, and he goes back. Finally, Rassilon comes, and then he's like, okay, now we can talk. So that was pretty interesting. I also like that those soldiers stood up for him. They stood with him because, yeah, I like that he is a war hero, Which, yeah, and, when it's like, who the hell does he think he is? It's like, he's the man that won the Time War. Just him won the Time War, So that's pretty cool. I do like that. Which I guess, now that Gallifrey is just completely just out there, since Gallifrey is just completely out there, we could have more of Gallifrey in the future and more Time Lords, Maybe get back to... I mean, I don't think we're going to quite get back to what it was in Classic Doctor Who, and granted, I haven't seen much of the Time Lords in Classic Doctor Who, but I'm thinking of, like, the Deadly Assassin, where, the Doctor goes back to Gallifrey, and there's a whole, like, murder mystery and stuff like that. So I don't know if we'll quite get to that, but that'd be pretty cool to see. At least something like that. Or like in another example would be the Three Doctors, where we see like the different Time Lords, and they get the Three Doctors together in order to figure out this whole Omega stuff. So yeah, but I do like all those soldiers being like, we served under him in the war. Like, we're not going to abandon, the Doctor of War. So that was really, really cool. So it's interesting that this is all predicated on the story of the hybrid, Like, that's pretty interesting, I have to say. So it's kind of weird because you almost feel like the hybrid doesn't play that much into it. Like the Gallifreyans, the Time Lords, trapped the Doctor in his confession dial in order to get information about the hybrid. Then the Doctor took them down because they killed Clara for this. Well, in his mind, they killed Clara for this, even though it wouldn't have worked out that way if Clara hadn't taken the chronolock, Which I'm glad that a Shielder has to, say that eventually. It's like, look, it's not your fault. It's not their fault. It's not my fault. It's Clara's fault. And we all know this is Clara's fault. Even she knew that. So I do like that stuff. But yeah, like the fact that this is all predicated on the hybrid, because I guess the Time Lords are scared of the hybrid. But the hybrid, I like how the Doctor says, like, the hybrid, the original legends just say that it's a hybrid of two warrior races. It was just assumed that was the Daleks and the Time Lords. But that makes absolutely no sense, And I like how he even says, like, oh, it's you. It's, a Shielder. It's, you're part human and part whatever the hell they were called. I don't remember the not Vikings. I don't remember what they were called. It's been a little while. But yeah, it's like, oh, it's you. And it's like, well, what if it's two people, actually? What if it's a Time Lord and a human who have both influenced each other so much, And I like how they keep repeating, that all of this, they keep repeating how much Clara has taken from the Doctor, how similar the two of them are now. I like that this is actually kind of a character arc for her, That it is a character arc of she became too much like the Doctor and she ended up dying for him, basically. So I like that. And the fact that, yeah, the death is still cemented, Clara went too far. Honestly, this is a story of they both went too far, She went a little too far to protect Rigsy, and the Doctor is going too far to protect her. Both of them are now becoming... Basically, both of them became the hybrid, So that was... It's honestly, it's very fascinating to look at, how these episodes played out, I kind of, want to go back and, try to pick up on a few things, Oh, man. So, yeah. And they did actually save Clara. We got her back just before she died, which was pretty interesting. So, yeah, but because, it then took the Doctor, 4.5 billion years, it made Clara's death a fixed point in time, basically. So that's, again, there's still consequences to this, which, I was kind of thinking, and I guess, so this kind of makes this a little better than in the God Complex, where it's like, oh, well, bye, Amy and Rory. Oh, well, they're still here. They're still here. They're still here. All right, we'll just take you guys along again, dead. Because, and again, and I know, I'll try not to get into it again, because good Lord, we don't have the time. But still, it's like, no, this is definite. Yes, we did, we had a vision of Clara last episode, and we did take her out of her timeline just before her death, but this is still locked in. Clara Oswald still dies, you know? And now, the worst thing is, the Doctor cannot remember it. So yeah, I do like that. That it is still locked in. Like, we're not gonna be, you know, going back and forth with a will they, won't they, like, you know, like with Amy and Rory, you know? So, and I'll try to stop mentioning that. I can't get into it again. I just can't. God, that was a crazy 5 weeks when I had to keep arguing the same fucking thing. Ugh. Anyway. So yeah, that was pretty interesting. I also like that, you know, it's like the general. He's only listed as general. I kind of wish the guy had a name. But I like when, you know, the Doctor takes the gun and he shoots him. It's like, oh shit, did the Doctor just kill him? And then it's like, oh, duh. He shot a Time Lord, so he regenerated. So that was really funny, actually. That was really funny that that it's like, oh shit, the Doctor just killed someone. It's like, no, he regenerated. Duh. We're on Gallifrey. These are Time Lords. You know? So that was pretty funny. I like that. So yeah. We had the database, which was pretty interesting. So yeah, it's like all these... I don't even know, like, what was it a database of? I forget. Well, no, it was like a database, but it contained, like, the Matrix, basically. I assume, like, the Matrix that every... Yeah, it's the Matrix that every TARDIS uses, basically. And he said, like, you know, it can see all of time, it can make, you know, predictions and prophecies and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess that was basically it. And back when he was a kid, the Doctor, Lil Johnny, what did we call him? Lil Johnny? I guess it was just Johnny Smith, that was it. Back then, Lil Johnny Smith broke into the database and then found a secret tunnel. That was really funny, actually. And I like how they say it's like, oh yeah, he stole the moon and, you know, stole the president's daughter and stuff like that. And it's like, what the hell does any of that mean, you know? I'm very curious about the stole the president's daughter, because yeah, it's the Lord President's daughter. For some reason, when they said it this time around, I was like, oh, right, that would be the Lord President's daughter. So, like, it makes me curious, was that his wife? Was that his original wife on Gallifrey? Because we don't know anything about his fucking family from Gallifrey other than Susan, you know? And it is a question that drives me insane. We never know what his life was like on Gallifrey, you know? So, I don't know. Anyway, so that was interesting. I like the use of, well, first off, stealing a TARDIS, which was pretty cool. Stealing a TARDIS was really funny. And then the fact that it was a classic, so that's what TARDISes look like at first, you know? It's just that the Doctor has gone through so many different, you know, desktop themes, but I like that, that they actually had a classic TARDIS. That might be, you know, I would imagine that's the same set from An Adventure in Space and Time. They just kept it, you know? Why not? So I did like that. That was really cool seeing a classic TARDIS in HD and everything. So yeah. We went to the end of the universe again. How many times can the Doctor go to the end of the universe? Like, he went there in Utopia, he went there in Listen, and now he's there again. Like, how many times can you do this, man? Now, granted, Ashilda did say that it's like, oh yeah, I've been watching stars die. So they're not quite to Utopia, actually. They're not quite to Utopia, actually, because in Utopia, there were no stars, you know? So, and I also like when it's like, you know, there's a knock on the door, 4 knocks, it always comes in 4 knocks, especially at the end of the universe. And it's like, who's out there? And he's just like, who else? Me. And it's like, oh, it's the Doctor. And it's like, no, you idiot, it's Ashilda. Like, because, yeah, she is immortal. So, I thought that was really funny. That was a good little switch there. And yeah, she's still there after all this time. Man, they got Maisie Williams and used her to the full extent. You know, like, that is crazy how much they've... So this is the 4th episode she's been in now? Like, oh my gosh. I don't know if she's coming back, though. They can't afford her, probably. I don't know. She probably had to go back to Game of Thrones at this point. But yeah. So, I like how she also says, like, oh yeah, all the other immortals have died already. It's like, yeah, that's a good point, actually, because Jack, the face of Bo, died. So, like, that's actually a good point. Granted, Jack will be showing up soon with the 10th Doctor and Martha in Utopia. God, they gotta stop going to the end of the universe. It's getting a little too crazy out there. So yeah, that was interesting. And then, yeah, we got Forget. The Doctor ended up forgetting instead of Clara, which is a good twist on that. You know, it'll be interesting to see, like, how that, like, informs his character. But that's the thing, is he still remembers everything that happened. It's just that he doesn't remember Clara, which is incredibly sad, honestly. Like, you know, and it's so different, you know, that now he's forgot a companion, you know, instead of, like, the other way around. So now, I would assume we're not going to have... I assume we're actually not going to have, you know, the time where, like, the Doctor misses his previous companion. Because we've had that a lot, where, you know, after Rose, you know, with Martha, he misses Rose. He didn't really miss Martha that much, which is unfortunate, but they left on good terms, you know? But even with Donna, that led into the Series 4 specials, you know, with him being alone, was all because Donna was gone. Or when Amy and Rory died, and he was, you know, sequestering himself in Victorian England until eventually he met Clara, you know? So I would assume then that, you know, maybe we're not going to get the same sort of, you know, missing our companion next time around. But we'll have to see, definitely. I do like the reveal. It's like, oh yeah, the diner. And it's like, oh yeah, that's the diner from The Impossible Astronaut. And he kind of looks around, it's like, was this? And it's like, no, this is where I met Amy and Rory. And, you know, just a mention of Amy and Rory again, which is pretty cool. So I do like that as well. And the reveal that, yeah, you know, you think that this is the Doctor finding another Clara because he misses Clara, but actually it's the Doctor without any memory of Clara and the actual Clara listening to his story, you know? Like, that's just pretty crazy. So, I did like that. Honestly, this is a really good send-off to Clara. You know, and just the fact that the finale was sort of focused on that, you know? And I do like that, you know, even though, yes, it's like, okay, well, she can go out and have a little bit of fun before the Raven, she will have to face the Raven at some point. So, I do like that they specify that. It's like, no, there is no real getting around this. She is going to have to face the Raven. As far as we're concerned, Clara is dead. Which is just, oh, that's sad. That's so sad. So, the last thing I wrote down is be a doctor. I just realized I misspelled doctor. I wrote dotor. Whoops. Whoopsie daisy. Let me just add a C real quick. Wow, alright. Guys, be a doter. Go be a doter, everyone. So, yeah. But I did like that. And that was pretty interesting that it was, you know, because technically I guess the TARDIS should remember everything, but it's interesting that at that moment the TARDIS was like, hey, Doc, catch! And he just grabbed it and now he has a new screwdriver, you know? So I do like that. I do like that. And I'm going to have to fucking buy another... I'm going to have to buy another screwdriver now. Don't we only have, like, one more season with Capaldi? And then I'm going to have to buy another screwdriver for Jodie Whittaker, I think. Oh, boy. The quest for screwdrivers. And soon, probably, you know, eventually I'm going to get to the second Doctor. I'm just going to have to get a little... I'm just going to have a pen in here, I think. And the third Doctor has a... Good Lord. So many screwdrivers, you know? This cup is going to be full. By the way, who was that dude? Who the hell was that dude with the car? It's like, oh, yeah, Clara told me to watch after you. Here, let me take you to this random diner that just appeared out of nowhere. It's like, who the hell are you? I don't know. That was just kind of weird, but whatever. But yeah, this was a really great, very interesting finale. You know, again, for something that doesn't really have a villain, you know, it's just a very personal finale, and I really like that, actually. So I will be curious to see where we're going next. I think next up is Christmas. I think, don't we have 2 Christmas specials, actually, before we start Series 10 proper? So, yeah. That will be very interesting to see where we're going from here. It'll be interesting to see the 12th Doctor without Clara, because we haven't had that for 2 seasons, you know? We haven't had that yet, so... Yeah, that is pretty much it. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Doctor Who reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.